Good morning. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you from my side.
Okay, great. Just to test again. And yeah, welcome.
Great.
It's great to have you here with us. And I can see that there are 10 people watching live streaming right now, and we are waiting for more. But okay, let's wait for 20 people and then we can start. And hello, audience. Thank you for joining us today. And please share to your friends as well so that more people can see this opportunity. Mm. Okay, now we have 13 people. Mm. I think it's gonna be, like quite a while because it's the weekend for people, so people might be sleeping by this time
Yeah,
because
what
it
time
is
is it in
night.
Lao?
It's
Is it?
night. Yeah, 9 a.m. in Laos. So I think we can start first.
Yeah,
Okay, great. So let's start with the introduction, and I'm sure that the audience would be wondering who is this beautiful girl talking with me right now. Okay, so could you please introduce yourself?
sure. So thank you so much, May. Thank you so much for having me in this platform. So my name is Dircia, and I'm from Timor Leste. I was the Irish Fellow back in 2021. I completed my master degree last year in September. So actually, May and we know each other through the YCLI Alumni Network. So for those who are wondering why we know each other, so I'm sure most of you know about the program YCLI. If you don't know, check with May. Uh, she knows a lot of things about YCLI program, and these are great opportunities for you to explore as well. So yeah, we know each other through that network, and we're also one year old ambassador, right? And yeah, and we
Yes.
met. We met in person. Yeah, we actually met in person in Glasgow for the conference of Youth 16. So May and we've been knowing each other for quite some time. That's why she invited me to talk to you about my experiences or any tips about the scholarship. I did a Master of Environmental Leadership at the University of Galway. It's a 2 hour drive from Dublin, the city, the capital here. So I will show you on the map later. And I'm currently working with the government in the climate change department. Yeah, I think that's all
Mm.
from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, Dashia. That's so great. I mean, look at like how we met each other through exchanges programs, and that's how they say
Great.
that we have the same interest and we are attracted to one another. Okay, so I'm gonna debrief the audience a quick things about what's gonna happen today. So this year we'll be presenting her PowerPoint that she prepared. It's very interesting, and then I'm gonna ask questions based on the PowerPoint, and then after that I'm gonna pick some questions based on the audience. If you have any questions or like anything, if you would like to say, not only questions but can be like um give us a heart or whatsoever, or just say hello, that would be good as well. And then we will include this live streaming by this year giving some inspiring messages to Lao Jin. to apply, like encourage them to apply. Okay, so great. And yeah, let's start with the PowerPoint that you prepare.
Sure. Let me try to share my screen. Yes. Can you see it now?
It's still downloading. Oh yeah, great.
Yes. Yes, May. Can you see it now?
Oh yes, I can see it very clear.
Okay, great. Okay, great. As May said, we're gonna have a Q&A session after this. So I'm just gonna run through the presentation. It's gonna be a short one because I'm sure that most of you have read the instruction. May has shared the link few weeks ago, I'm sure. So this is just an overview about the scholarship itself. So the scholarship, as you can see from the topic, it's the Ireland Asia Fellows Program. So this program is specifically for the Asia, not all countries in Asia, only 3 countries, and we will see that in the next slides. So for those who don't know where the Ireland is, so you can see from this map. So this is Laos. This is where we are, the Southeast Asia. So my country is around here. No, this is Indonesian. Yeah, it's around here. It's close to Australia. So this is us, and this is Laos. So this is the Ireland. It's in Europe. It's close to UK, and it's a long flight to go there, but you will be fine if you get the scholarship. And this is the country. This is the country itself. As I mentioned, that it's close to Ireland. Sorry, it's close to the UK. So this is the entire island, and the northern part of the island is actually part of the UK. So this is the Republic of Ireland. As you can see from this, there is a line here. So this part of the Ireland, this is the northern part. It is part of the UK, and other than that, it's an independent country. So this is the Dublin. This is the Dublin. This is the capital city. So there are quite a lot of university spread across the country. Most of the university are in Dublin, and this is where I studied. This is the Galway, and there are a few university on the north as well, not the northern one, but in the north of the Republic of Ireland, and few universities down the south as well. So there are few university in Waterford, in Limerick, in Cork as well. So there are quite a number of universities spread across the country. It depends the course that you choose, and it depends on the university that you choose. Whether the university you choose offer the preferred course that you want to study. So this is the program. This is a fully funded Irish government scholarship. So everything is provided by the Irish Aid, the Irish government. So regarding your flight, the programs, your allowance, and everything is provided by the Irish government. And it is 1 year master level program. If you're familiar with the Triveni, this is pretty similar to the scholarship. It's just different country. The Triveni is in the UK, and the Ireland Fellows programs in the Republic of Ireland. So it's only 1 year master program, and it's a thought master program. So after the semester, you can either do the thesis or the or internship. It depends on the program of study. So the eligible course, it's good that now they offer a lot of program. In previous years, they mostly offer program related to the environment, to the climate change, but now they expand the course, the eligible courses. So now it includes the agriculture, health, educations, and human rights, businesses, and more. So you can just go to the link, the website, to check the eligible programs. So the different countries are eligible to different programs. So for this scholarship, they offer to different region. So they offer to the Asia and also to Africa, to South America, and also the SIDS country. So in my fellowship program, it's part of the SIDS country, the Small Island Developing State. So it's not part of the Asia; it's part of the SIDS country. So all the programs and the stages and the steps of the scholarships is similar. It's just the program that are different. But now I already checked both programs for the seats and also the Asia. It's pretty similar. Now they mostly offer the same courses. So more information about the courses, whether you confused or you're still wondering whether you prefer study is still is part of the eligible courses, you can just go to the directory of eligible programs. So there are a lot of programs listed in the directory of eligible programs. And so the benefits, as you can see that this is a long list of the benefits here. Uh, as I mentioned, that this is fully funded, so they will pay for everything, literally everything, even your flight, your visa, your insurance, or your layover. If you have to lay over in any airport and you have to stay there, they will pay for that as well. So everything is covered by the scholarship. So first, as you can see here, the settling allowance. So when you settle in the Ireland, when the first time you come to Ireland, they will give you $1,000. They will give you $1,000 to remember, but it depends because the living expenses it's getting the living expenses is getting expensive every year, so they might increase that. I'm not sure, but they gave us $100 for the settling for the allowance. And then there we also and after we completed the program, excuse me, after we completed the program, they will give us 700 as well. They will give us around 500. Yeah, I still remember they gave us 500, and again it might be increased as well. It depends on on their new regulation. So the last year they gave me 500 for the departure allowance, and the monthly stipends. Some of the scholarships that I know, they usually give their stipend every 2 weeks, fortnight, but this one they will give us every month. So every month they will give us 700 euro, and it's more than enough to cover everything we want. And the student accommodation, so the accommodation they will provide the accommodation for us in the trimester 1 and 2. So it's normally from September to May. So if you get selected, they will provide the accommodation next year from September until 2025 in May. And after that, they will give you a stipend, which is around 650 to 850, depending on the city, because every city has different, uh, different, how do I say that? Like different living standard. So the accommodation, the housing in Dublin is more expensive than housing in other part of the country like Galway or Cork, the few counties in Ireland. That's why the accommodation stipend also ranges from the 650 to 850, and which that means that we have to find our own accommodation after May, yeah, after semester 2. And a part of that, we also have opportunities to take part in the extracurricular, in the training, in the volunteering opportunities. So not every month, but every 3 months, they usually have the program for us to learn if we want to. They also offer Irish language training, and they also offer the, how do I call it, the Irish, oh my goodness, I forgot what's the name of the thing, but yeah, something related to the Irish culture. So you will learn that as well. And they also have training, the training about about the global issues, and they will pay for that as well. And sometimes they also hold workshops or events in the Dublin, and they will pay for everything for us to attend it. And other than that, when it comes to the Christmas or St. Patrick Day, it's a big thing in Ireland. So we usually have a gathering, and they will provide the accommodations and the fee for the transport fee from where you study to the Dublin. Mostly we gather in Dublin, where you will have a chance to meet other fellows from other universities as well. So this is a great opportunities for us to get to know each other, to learn from each other, and of course to build our network from other fellows as well. So this is the benefits. It's quite a lot here, and and now we're looking at the requirements. So for the requirements, as I mentioned, that this is only for Asia, but not all countries in Asia. It's only for the Vietnam, Cambodia, and Laos as well. And May mentioned to me earlier that this is the first time they giving the scholarship to the Lao. So this is a great.
Actually, to be precise, they have been given this scholarship to Laos before, but it's for the
Okay,
government sectors. So there were
right,
three people, yeah, from Mofa and Monterey to attend, but this year is the first year ever that they provide to like all country. Yeah,
right.
in the whole
Wow, this
country
is
can
great.
apply.
Yeah, so it doesn't have to be public servant, right? It's it's open for all Lao residents. So this is good. And the second requirement is the work experience. So here, as you can see, that for the Lao resident, you have to have at least 3 years of experiences related to the program of study. So if you're planning to study business, you have to have a working experience on business sector. So it has to be related to your program, your program. And it's not only your professional experience. They don't count the volunteer experience, but they do count the internship. So even though you haven't reached 3 years of experiences, but you had 1 year or 2 years of internship program, you can count that as well. And of course, this is a master program, so you have to have a bachelor level academic qualification. You have to have a degree on the undergrad, and the minimum grade point should be, the average one is 3. It depends on every universities. I highly recommend, even though your minimum grade doesn't reach 3.0, but just apply for it, because they not only see your academic qualification, but they also see your leadership skills. So they're looking at your leadership abilities and aspiration as well. So even though your academic qualification doesn't meet the requirement, but you have a good experiences in the leadership, then I highly recommend to apply. And also, because we're gonna study in English language country, which means you have to be good in English as well. It doesn't have to be perfect, but as long as you can write and you can speak and you can understand other, then it should be fine. And for the English language, they will provide that test as well, so you don't have to pay for that. You don't have to take IELTS test or TOEFL or any language test. You just have to wait until the second stage. They will provide the English test, so they will pay for it, and you just attend it in not in person. It's a virtual test. I will explain more about that in the next slide. And of course, the last but not the least one, the last requirement is you should not hold any master qualification before. So because I know most people and myself as well, we want to do double master or triple master, but this one you can only apply if you haven't hold any master degree. Okay, so that's the requirement, and now we are looking at the application process. So the application process consists of 3 stages. So the first one is the the preliminary application, it opens already on the 3rd of July this month, and it closes on the 13th July. So you still have 2 weeks to fill your application if you haven't started or if you haven't done so. So you can still apply if you are interested. So this is the first stage. So after you submit your application, and if you go through to the second stage, they will give you another application. They want to know more about you, especially your preferred program. So they will ask you to write an essay again about your program. So in the first stage, they already asked you to choose your program study. So they will give you uh, three three choices, and it has to be it depends on your preferences. So the most preferred one should be in number one, and then second, and then third. So on the second stage, they ask you to write about the program itself, because you're gonna apply for the university. So they will ask you to apply for the university. So if you choose the first one and then you got rejected, they will move you to the second one. So, and same until the third one. So the most preferred one should be in the first option. And if you go through the first stage, you will do the second stage application around September to October. So this is the second stage. The second stage also includes the English test. So the English test is usually Duolingo test. Duolingo. If you're not familiar with that, you can just go to Google and then search Duolingo English test. It also offers the free. It's actually paid. We have to pay that to take the course and it's cheaper compared to the IELTS test. But again, as I mentioned, they will pay for that for you to attend, so it should be fine. But you can take a test, the practice. You can take the practice, and it's for free. You can just type Duolingo English test practice on the Google, and then it will pop up to you. So you can just do that on your own time, or you can prepare beforehand. And then after that, you will go to the interview. So if you pass the second stage, you will do the interview. So the interview, it's usually it's not common in person. It depends if you have an embassy. I'm not sure Laos has an Ireland embassy. If you have, they probably ask you to meet in person to do the interview. But if not, they usually do online interview. And yeah, so if you pass the interview, you will get an award to study in Ireland. So this is the process of the scholarship. And
And
because
sorry, I just would like to mention about stage three. Unfortunately, we don't have the island embassy in Laos. Yeah, so we have
right,
to travel to another country, and the closest embassy is in Vietnam. Yeah,
okay,
island embassy in Vietnam.
right. I think it's okay. It should be fine. If you don't, we don't have an Ireland embassy here, so I only did an online interview with them, and same as the previous cohorts, they also did an online interview, and I'm pretty sure the same thing will happen to you as well. We don't have the embassy, that's why they asked us to send our application directly to the embassy in Ireland. I will show you that in a minute, the email that you will use to send your application. So this is similar to us as well. And you only need an embassy to apply for the visa. So if you get selected, then you have to apply for the visa, right? So you have to send your documents to the Ireland embassy, to the closest one, which you mentioned that it's in Vietnam. In Vietnam, right?
Yes, it's in Vietnam.
Yes, so you have to send your documents to the Ireland embassy in Vietnam to process your visa, and they will pay for the shipping fee and everything. So you will be fine. So for us, it's pretty uh, hard, and it's pretty far. We have to send our documents to Singapore to process our visa. So for you, it's all right, and don't worry, because they will connect us to the embassy, and they will pay for the shipping fee as well. So great. Now we are looking at the document documentation required. So since we are on the stage 1, so these are the things that you have to prepare to apply for this scholarship. So the first one is application form. You can get the application form on the website, and I'm sure that May already send the already put out the link out there on the page, so you can just go there and click the link and you can find the application form there. I can show you later if you want. I can just share my screen to that website. So yeah, you have to download the application form and you have to fill it. And the application form, they only ask about your personal informations and your previous study, what did you study, and what is your grade and everything. And they also ask you to write an essay. It's only 3, it's 150. We will look at the essay later if you have a question or tips from me. So yeah, this is the application form. You have to fill the application form, and you have to attach your application form together with the official identification. So it's either your passport or official identification. So if you haven't have a passport, it's okay. You can just attach your birth of certificate or any national document that you have. And also you have to attach your undergrad certificate. So undergraduate certificate. I'm not sure about the certificate in Lao, but in Timor Leste, because our official language is Portuguese, most of the certificate is in Portuguese, which means that we have to translate it to the English and then legalize it in the Ministry of Education. So it's quite a long process here, but I'm not sure on your side in Lao. If it's in English, it's good. You can just attach it. But if it's in your language, which means you have to translate it to English. Yeah, this is the same thing as the academic transcript. This is the same thing. So there are only 3 documents that you have to attach along with your application form. Okay, so submitting your application, because we don't have the Ireland Embassy in our country, they ask us to submit our application to their email. So this is their email, asiascholarship@dfanet.ie. So your application, you have to be typed, because some people cannot read our handwriting. So it's recommended to type your answers on the application form. So the application is in Microsoft Word format, so it's so easy for us to type all our answers there. So all the application that I mentioned before, the application form and all the 3 documents should be sent to this email. So this is the email. So if you send all the documents to this email, which means that you have applied. So there is no link or there is no online application that you have to submit everything. All you need to do is just submit your application to this email. So it's so easy. So yeah, so this is all my presentation about the scholarship. I just have few tips here. I just have few tips here for you, just to be considered. If you have any more questions, I can answer that later. But of course, first, all you need to do is research your program of study. As I showed you before, that there are quite a bunch of program choices. So you just need to explore one by one to see which one you are more interested and relevant to your working experience. So this is the first thing. Make sure you research all your program study and make sure to understand what they offer and what's their requirements. Have to go there and then check their university. So after you check all the program of study, you have to research on your preferred universities as well, because as I mentioned, that not every university offers the program that you want. So make sure you have to do a great of research on that as well, and then to see the requirements and to see the process of applying to the university. So you have to apply for a university. So this is the second stage. So I'm not gonna mention that here. They will provide more information. They will provide more information later after you get selected to the second stage. And yeah, for the essay, it's only 150 words. It's not that much, but it's quite tricky because you want to impress someone, right? With what you have, with your experiences, with what you're going to do after you return. So this is all questions they usually ask. So make sure that you use your national data to support your statement or idea, because you don't want to write down everything on your mind. Of course, you want to write everything on your mind, but you have to back up with the data, because it's not because it doesn't necessary that your idea is correct or wrong. So it's good to back up with the data to show that you have done your part, you have done your research, and you know exactly what you're going to do and where you're going to study, and of course what you want to contribute after you return. So this is the thing, because most of the scholarship, they want you to return to your country and contribute to your country. That's why they're really looking part. And of course, you have to align your plans. They're gonna ask your plans, what you're gonna do after you return, and how that relates to your study. So make sure you get familiar yourself, if you haven't, get familiar yourself with the government plans or with your strategy, national strategy, or anything, any national documents that relates to your degree, or I'm sorry, relates to your program. Make sure you've done your homework researching these things, so you can connect that to your essay as well. So it's only 150. It's a bit tricky. Make sure you specify all your answer. Make sure you understand make sure you understand the question very carefully, so you can answer directly to that question, instead of bringing people around what you're going to say to them. So be specific and be focused on your essay. Yeah, I think that's all from my side. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. You've done, Shajan. Excellent job. Very, very great. So,
Thank you.
you have been graduating since last September, right?
Last
Or
year, yeah, September.
Mhm.
September. Actually, regarding the graduation, that's the thing. It's similar
Mhm.
to the Australian Awards Scholarship or New Zealand Scholarship. I was studying New
Mhm.
Zealand, so I know a bit of this process. So same as other
Mm.
scholarship, they don't pay you to attend the graduation. So you have to work if you wish to save money, so you
Uh-huh.
can go back to attend the graduation, or
Mhm.
not, you can do what I've done, what I did. So I
Mhm.
actually hired the gun, everything, and I was working with the for the university for the graduation
Mm.
team. So they just give me for free. So I used it just to have my own photo shoot. Yeah. So I did it before I
That's
returned.
great.
So you can do that as well if you're not planning to go back for your graduation. So I actually finished in August, but the graduation
Mm.
day was in November. Yeah. And you can
Mm.
stay there until your graduation, but of course they won't pay you. You have to find work for a bit just to survive in a few months to attend the graduation. Then after that, yeah, you can return home.
Mm-hmm. I see. And okay. So let's start with the question sessions based on your PowerPoint that you just, you
Sure.
know, talk about. Yeah, I'm interested in a working experience because they
Mm-mm.
said that if you're from Vietnam, then you have to provide at least 2 years of working experience. But if you are from Laos, then it's gonna be 3 years. That's quite a lot, though. And you said that they exclude the
Mm-mm.
volunteering experience, right? And
Mm-mm. Yep.
do they count it like an hour, or they count it as you are working in a professional sector? For example, me, I just graduated like last year, so I do have the working hours, but in different side jobs. For example, I start my startup, and also I did my internship. Yeah, can I include that based on the working hours?
Yeah, good question. They actually don't ask for the working hours, because I remember in the last 3 years I was working part time as well. It wasn't a full time, but
Mm-hmm.
I just put it as in full time because they don't check it, so it should be fine. You can just put it as long as as long as that thing
Uh,
relates to your work. Yeah, actually, the thing is like I was working with the UNDP and it was a part time, but I actually go to work every
uh,
day. So yeah, I consider it
oh,
as
that's
in
true.
full time. Yeah,
Mm,
and also there's a good news for you that haven't reached 3 years of experiences.
mm,
The good news is this is same as us, same as our country. We have to have at least 3 years of experience, so same as Laos as well.
mm,
And in 2021, when I applied for the scholarship, I only had 2 years of experience. I
mm,
only had 2 years of experiences. It hasn't reached to the 3 years, but the thing is
mm,
like we are going to, if we get selected, which means we're going to the Ireland next year, right? So if you're
mm.
still working until next year, if we by next year you already reached 3 years.
That's
Yeah, so
true.
you can apply. So you can apply as well, even though you only have, if you have 1 year of experience, I don't
Mm,
recommend you to apply for that. But if you have
mm,
2 years of experience, highly recommend, because this is what happened
mm,
to me a few years
mm,
ago. So yeah.
mm. Okay, that's great. And yeah, because even myself, I only have 1 year and 1 month of professional working experience. But meanwhile, I'm doing side jobs, like two side jobs while working.
Hmm.
Because yeah, so I think I can count that as well because they focus on more like how long have you been working? I attend the searching for the
Yeah,
embassy of Ireland in Vietnam. They came to Laos for the first time
right.
ever because it's open
That's
widely to
great.
Laotians. Yeah, so they said that you can count that as well. I think the main point is that
Oh,
they're
that's great.
trying to encourage Lao people to apply. So that's why they said that, like just please apply. And okay, so jump to the next
Yeah,
question.
that's good.
And
That's a
of
good news.
course, yeah, it's about
Sure.
allowance. I found it's very interesting that they provide many, like um, how can I say? It's like many allowance based on like based on what you need. For example, the settling allowance is a different things they provide you because you just move there, and it's very important because when I moved to study, when I was in some country, like for my bachelor degree, I didn't get that
Hmm.
money. So yeah, I think it's good to provide this, especially for students who have like who didn't save much money. And also um
Mm-mm.
you mentioned that you receive $100 and then $500 when you complete, right? When you complete the program.
Yeah, yeah. They
Did you
will
get
give
it?
you a
Yeah.
500.
Oh,
Yeah, they
wow.
will give you five
Uh-huh.
hundred for the return one. Yeah, if you have if
Mm,
you have overload luggage or anything you want to buy along your trip, and of course the money for you
mm.
to settle before looking for the
Mhm.
job.
That's good. I mean, like 500 is a lot. And
Mm,
also, you mentioned that the accommodation is a different things. They don't include in
mm,
700 euros. Then if we may plus 700 euros and 850 euros, then it's gonna be like 1,550 euro per
something.
month.
Yeah, yeah,
And that's a lot.
yeah,
I think that's a lot. Probably not a lot for
yeah. It is.
like for Ireland. So is this really expensive? I mean, like living in Ireland. Do you think this money is enough for one person? Like one person will not do the part-time job because when you study there, it's only 1 year, right? It's only tough enough to finish your master degree. You think it's like the money is enough?
Yeah, in Ireland where we live in, of course, in Dublin it's so expensive, but you have more allowance compared to those in other cities, and most of the time it's more than enough. It's more than enough, and
Mm,
you can use your allowance to travel around Europe as well. So this is what I did. So it's more than enough actually. But you want to have more money, then you have to work part time. If you have planned something. So yeah, it's actually more than enough.
mm. Is that legal there for students to work for part time, like under this scholarship?
Y- Yes. So under the scholarship, you're allowed to work
Mm.
up to 20 hours per week. 20 hours per week.
Oh,
And they have a
nice.
lot of they have a lot of jobs actually. They have staff shortage, so they
Mm.
usually looking for students to do part-time jobs. So yeah, you can just, it's important to manage your time. And I actually
Mm.
work as well in three
Ooh.
in three, two or three. So yeah,
Mm.
so you have a
That's
lot of
great.
opportunities, yeah, to work as well.
Mm. I see. So, okay, let's move on to the next question. And it's related to working as well. So you mentioned that we have the opportunity to attend church volunteerings, like trainings, culturing, workshop, etc. So have you done any of this kind of activities when you were there? And could you please share that to us if you have done, like volunteering?
uh, the volunteer activities. Well, there are quite a bunch of activities and trainings that you can attend as well. As I mentioned, that of course they want us to expose to Irish culture as well. And I did
Mm.
take Irish class. It was so hard, so I just gave up. I gave up. But if you're keen to learn Irish language, then yeah, go for it. They pay for everything. You just attend. You just attend. And also I also did. I say that I forgot about the theme, but now I remember. It's an Irish
Mm.
whistle.
Irish
Whistle thing that I
research.
learned that, but it's word
Research.
whistle. Whistle, the thing that you usually just blow the whistle.
Oh, whistle. Oh,
Whistle,
oh, that's
yeah,
nice. Like, papi, pahui. That's great.
Irish whistle. Yeah, I wish I bring it here with me because actually they send the whistle to our accommodation.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they actually pay for the course itself, and they buy the whistle and
Mhm.
send it to us. So yeah, you all you
That's
do is
great.
you just have to manage your time. Yeah, this is so
Mhm.
cool. I really enjoyed this one. And for the training in
Mhm.
Ireland, they have the stand. They call it a stand. I think it's
Mhm.
it's an organization that they
Mhm.
usually help, the organization that helps students, especially the university students, to learn about the leadership skills, to learn about the global issue, and to find a solution and sort of thing. Something similar to YSEALI, and they have that as well in
Mhm.
Ireland. And if we take that course, it's an global issue course, and it's quite expensive, but they pay for
Mhm.
that, and you only pay 25 euro, and it's so cheap. So I just paid, and I
Oh.
did, and it was worth it. The course was worth it
Mhm.
because you've got to meet quite different students from different countries, and
Mhm.
you get to learn a lot from them as well. And of course you will get
Mhm.
the certificate after that, and it's really helpful. And actually they have
Mhm.
different activities that can provide to university students, and actually, you can volunteer for them as well if you want. They usually visit universities across the country. If they have something happening in our university, they are usually looking for the volunteers, and you can help them as
Mhm.
well for your experiences. And the good thing I like about the program is we not always, but most of the time we have program. We
Mhm.
have an event. We have event in
Mhm.
Dublin. So in Dublin, because I was in Galway, so we had to travel from Galway to Dublin, right? So as I mentioned,
Mhm.
that they will pay for everything. They will pay for
Mhm.
your transport, and they will provide the
Oh my
accommodation. They will
gosh.
fancy hotel.
Oh my god,
Yeah,
that's quite excellent. Oh my god.
I know they will provide you a fancy hotel for you to stay overnight to
Mm,
yeah to attend the event. So when you arrive there, the first gathering usually in Christmas to celebrate Christmas.
mm.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hello, yeah. Yes, yeah, yes. You mentioned about celebrating Christmas, right?
Can you hear me? Because I see your screen
Uh yes,
freeze.
I can hear you well. Yeah.
Okay, great. So yeah, the first gathering will be in Christmas. So this is where they
Sorry,
will do
I
an
think we lost
welcoming
you.
and they also have a St. Patrick Day, and this is gonna be a big
Hmm.
party in Dublin, and they will invite you to attend that as well. Yeah.
Sorry, this year. I think we've lost
Okay,
you.
can you hear me? Or
Ah, yes, I can hear you now.
okay, great. So yeah, you've got a chance to celebrate St. Patrick Day as well. St. Patrick Day
Mm,
is a big event in Ireland. So they
mm,
will invite you to go to Dublin to celebrate that with other fellows. And the completion ceremony. So the completion one usually
mm,
you have a photo session with your team or with your cohort. For
mm,
example, for us, we have a photo session with the SIDS fellows, and for you, of course, with the Asia one.
mm.
And after that, we'll have a big party. The big party to celebrate the completion of the program. So
Uh,
yeah, that's the good thing that you will experience if you get the opportunities. Mm.
I see that excellent. I love party. Like, yeah, I
I
like
know that you
attending
like it.
party, meeting new people, talking to them.
Yeah,
I see.
yeah.
So, let's jump to the IELTS test. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, I also would like to share because I attended the session that the host event in college, and I asked if we still like need to take the IELTS. For example, for some people, they finish um their bachelor degree in English program. For example, I finished in English program, but it's not English native speaker, like English native speaking country. And then there's
Mm.
someone asked
Yep.
if they finish their bachelor degree in English speaking country, do they still need to take the IELTS test? And the answer is yes. So I think it's mandatory for people to take the IELTS test. And the good news that they said that we can take the
Mm.
Duolingo test, but for some university, if they require to have the IELTS test, then the applicants has to do the IELTS test, but it's paid by the program as well. So it's very good news. Yeah. So I just answer the questions that
So I just
people might think. Yeah. Do they have to take the IELTS test or not? Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, for the IELTS, as you said, even though you're graduated from the English speaking
Mm,
country, you still have to take it. And
mm,
if you don't have an IELTS, if you don't have an IELTS, then yes, and
mm,
that's good. You don't have to do the English test as well, as long as the total number, the
mm.
the grade is.
I'm sorry, we've lost you again.
Yeah, as I mentioned that for the IELTS one, if you have the
Mm,
English test, then it's good. You can just use that to apply to submit to them, showing that you don't have to take the test again. But if
mm,
not, you will take a Duolingo test. So in my experience, I already took IELTS test before. I
mhm.
took IELTS test before, and also the Duolingo. In my experience, I can say that Duolingo is a bit not easy but reasonably easy compared to the IELTS. IELTS it's harder in my experience.
Ah,
Yeah, so Duolingo it's good. Duolingo it's good. All you need, all you need to
Mm.
do is practice. So they
Mm.
actually have the Duolingo provides the practical Duolingo English test, the practice English test, and the theory English test. So
Sorry, this year
you
we've
can just
lost you
do the
again.
practice as long as you can. Yeah, the internet here is so bad. I'm so sorry. Can you
Totally
hear me all right
understandable.
now?
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you like very clear here. Could you please repeat that sentence?
Yeah. As I say, that Duolingo is easy. All you need to do is practice. You have to do practice as long
Mm-hmm.
as you can, as much as you can, to get familiar
Mm-hmm.
with the, with the process, with the stage, every stage
Mm-hmm.
of the test. So they will pay for that as well. It's an online test. So
Mm-hmm.
they will send you the link, the code, so you can use that code to take the test. And it's cheaper
Mm-hmm.
and it's cheaper compared to the IELTS. So if you're not doing good, so if you're not doing good in the test, you can do it again and you can pay for yourself, and it's cheaper. It's around 90 something
Mm.
US dollar compared to the IELTS. It's expensive.
Yeah,
It's
that's
cheaper in the
true.
sense that
Uh,
comparing to the IELTS. But yeah, you
mm,
can do that to make your score, better. If you're not confident with your previous test, you can take another one, but you have to pay it for yourself, and you can do that on your own time as well. So you just have to Google Duolingo English test and do the practice as much as you can.
mm.
Yeah.
Great, great. That's great. From my experience, I think I might forget some, you know, like IELTS test because I last took it 5 years ago. Like, it's a long time, like 5 years ago. So now I think I have to like reread, re-practice, like literally everything. And also regarding the IELTS taste, and different universities record different IELTS bands, right? And I just want to ask about, have you ever heard or experienced, for example, you said that if one applied to this first university and then they got rejected, and then they will be automatically moved to the second university. Is that right? And then to the third university. Mhm. And have you ever heard of the case that all of the
Regarding the
three
options,
university, yeah, if they don't select this person,
yeah.
has there
So
been a case like this?
the options, it's not necessarily a university. Actually, the
Mm,
program itself. So for example, in my case, my first option was the one that I did, the Master of
mm,
Environmental Leadership in the University of Galway. And the second one, something
mm,
related to environment as well, but in different university. And the third one is the same university as the first one. So it's not about the university, it's the program.
mm, mm. I see. I see. Makes sense. Mhm.
Can you hear
But
me?
yes, I can hear
And
you.
it's
But
yeah. So
yeah.
it's the
Mm.
program, not the university. But I would recommend to you, if you choose the if you choose the program.
Sorry, we've lost you again.
So if you choose the program, make sure you check. That's why I was saying before that, make sure you check the
Hmm. I see. I see. So is this possible if we apply to um like different course? I know that there would be higher chance for people who actually apply for the same courses as the same course but different universities. But what if we apply in like similar courses in different university? Because that university don't have the same course that we wanted to apply, is that still possible, or that we reduce our chance to get the scholarship?
No, it's actually the yeah. I s- it's actually the program in the university. The program and the university. Every university, as you said, that every university has different requirements, right, for the IELTS and things. So make sure that the you prefer study. Make sure that the first option the first option. So if you think that let me just give an example. The best
Mm.
university in Ireland is the Trinity College and the
Mm.
University College Dublin, something along the line.
Yeah.
So yeah, the university like my university and other few university, they're a standard and they're good as well. But of course, they're always the best. And you can just check
Mm.
that the best universities always requires highest highest score of the English test.
Mm.
So if you choose the best university on your first option, which is good,
Mm.
you choose that one in
Mm.
your first, and then if you really want to study in Ireland, so make sure you choose other standard university on your second
Mm.
option. So if you don't pass the first one, then they will transfer you to the second one. So
Mm.
yeah, make sure you check that requirement as well. So that because we cannot guarantee our test score, right? So
Mm.
make sure
That's
that
true.
you look at the both side, the highest one and the lowest one, and then yeah, and then choose the lowest one in your third or second one. So that
Mm.
if the first one is rejected, you can still go to the second one.
Mm-hmm. I see. I see. I mean, well, logically that makes sense. To
Yeah.
if you want to balance the risk, like risk management, you have to pick a good university, but that should not be the competitive university as your second option
Mm.
in order
Yeah,
to
yeah,
increase your chance again. Yeah, that
yeah.
makes sense. And jump to the related questions about the interview. So I think Laos and Timor Leste have the same situation. We are on the same boat, let's say, because we don't have the embassy of Ireland in our country. So of course we have to do the online interview, right? So, do you have any tips for online interview? Because I've heard some people prefer like in-person interviews, so that they can interact as much as more they can. But if it becomes online interview, it's kind of hard to attract the committee, like the judge, or you know what I mean.
Mm.
Yeah. Do you have any tips specifically for this question?
Yeah, sure. So for the interview, of course we're in the same boat, but the thing is, compared to the internet connection, yours is better than ours. So in my case, so in my case, the priority is the internet connection, because when you're too excited talking with someone and then you lose the internet, the thing is just lost. You just lost
True.
everything that
True.
you said. So that's the worst part. But if you have a good internet, that shouldn't be an issue. But the thing is, like, I still remember that they usually hold the interview in the morning in Ireland, which means afternoon in our
Mm,
country.
mm,
Mine was the evening, because we are 2 hours ahead of Lao, which means that afternoon in Lao. So it's usually afternoon
mm,
in Lao. So the tips for the interview: make sure you find a good room where no one can disturb you. So find a good
mm,
room where you can get an internet connection and no one won't disturb you. And also, the good thing about the online interview is you can still write a note. So that's a good thing. You
ah,
can just
that's true.
write down. Yeah, you can just write down your note and then put in front
Like
of
what I'm
your.
doing right now.
Yes,
We will
yes,
have,
yes.
like a
Make
better
sure make sure they
preparation.
don't see you, but I think you should be fine. You just put it on your table, just to make
Uh-huh.
sure that you cover everything you want to say. Because
Mm,
sometimes you get too excited about something, you forget to mention about other important things, right? So make sure you write
true.
down your key points, anything that you'd like to convey, and anything that you'd like them to know. So make sure you write down
Mm,
everything and put it on your in front of you, so you can just take a look at that as well. And
mm,
for the interview, they usually don't ask a question that far from where what you write for what you write on your essay,
Mm.
most of the time they ask something that related to your essay. So of course, the first
Mm.
thing would be why you choose that and how that course contribute can help you to contribute to your countries and your professional career or your, yeah, anything related to you and your country. And the one thing they usually ask is about the relationship. This is the same thing on the essay as well. The relationships between Ireland and your
And your
country.
country. That's
And
true.
yeah, they usually ask that as well, like anything you know about the relationship of both countries, or anything that you
Mm.
think you're like to strengthen the relationships after you return, or through this scholarship, what you can do, sort of thing. And of course, the
Mm.
one thing that I wasn't expected in my interview was the thing that I wrote on my essay, because I mentioned that I helped the international consultant to support
Mm.
our uh, single-use plastic pollution,
Mm.
the use of single-use plastic, the policy itself. I
Mm.
also mentioned that it was part of my job, and then they specifically asked to that one. So make sure you get familiar and
Mm.
you provide extra information, and you prepare extra information for that as well, because they might ask
Mm.
as well. They want to know what did you do and what was the outcome of the thing that you did. So
Mm.
sometimes they focus on the things that you have done instead of any other thing that I mentioned before. We never know, but yeah,
Mm.
most of the time they always ask anything that related to your essay. So make sure you provide extra information for the thing that you mentioned on your essay as well.
Mm-hmm. I see. And it is my curiosity. So, what if you happen to encounter with the ad hoc, questions like certain questions, and you never thought that, oh, why they asked me this question? Like just to test you, like how you handle that questions. Do you have any tips for this? It doesn't have to be specifically for this scratchy, but like for in general, if you happen to have this question.
Well, I would say that people like your honesty. So honesty is
Mm.
very important when it comes to the interview. Being open, being honest,
Mm.
and being vulnerable. If you're in that
Mm.
situation, they
Mm.
want you to offer everything that you have, everything. They want you to
Mm.
know what's your what is your goal and everything in
Mm.
you. That's why they
Mm.
they they choose you, because you are unique. So that's the thing that they are expected from you. So if they ask you unexpected question, I think first you can say that, well, thank you for your question. This is a very good one, and I wasn't expected that. So just be open. You know,
Mm.
just tell them that you weren't expected that question, but I will try my best to answer that. And then yeah,
Mm.
then you can start whatever you have in your mind.
Mhm. Whatever you have in your mind. And it's blank. No, I'm kidding. That's very interesting. And then I think it's very good tip for people, of course, because in the interview room, you are naturally nervous. Or some people even have to panic attack, because they are
Yeah,
like, yeah, they are nervous with like literally everything. Me including that. So that's why I always practice with
yeah.
myself.
Mhm.
But I have to admit that it always
Yeah.
happen, no matter how many times or how long you spend with the practice. But yeah, it always happened during the interview.
Sure.
Mm.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah. You're totally right. But the thing is about the interview, especially from my experience with the Ireland, the
Mm.
panelists, they're so sweet.
Mm.
They know our position, and they know how nervous we are. So they usually starts their point by by greeting you and asks about how are you doing with everything,
Mm.
and they try to get to know you.
Mm.
With the small things, just to
Mm.
just to connect with you, connect with you. Then they will start asking question, but they usually start with the chilling question, and
Mm.
anything that makes you comfortable to answer. They
Mm.
usually start with that first. So it's really good that they don't,
Mm.
they don't pressure you. They don't make it like, yeah, now we're doing this. Make it too formal for them.
Like,
In my experience, no.
ask.
Yeah, in my experience,
Uh,
no.
mm.
Yeah.
I
And as
see.
long
That
as you're
that
well prepared, I think you'll be fine. Yeah.
that's true.
As
Yeah.
you say that
Yeah,
you have
that's
to
true.
practice all the time. You have to practice. The thing is like,
Mm.
standing in front of the mirror and then talking to yourself. If
Mm.
Yeah, talking to yourself and then do it over and over again. Then if you're well
Mm.
prepared, then you won't be nervous as usual.
Mm. That's true. And actually I have like several questions, but due to the limited of time that we wanna, keep it in 1 hour each. So let's jump to the next section that you mentioned about the tips to apply for this scholarship. I'm interested in the research program that you mentioned.
Mm,
So it's gonna be only 1 year to study there, and of course it's similar to the UK's study, system that it requires you only 1 year for you to study. Do you prepare your like thesis topic? I mean, your like whole dissertation, or you have the clear plan of what you are going to do there. Like research questions, hypothesis, or this kind of things. Because you only have 1 year. Have you prepared this before you go to Ireland?
okay. That's a really good question. That's a really good one. I didn't do a thesis in my previous study. That I was so nervous about that as well.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing, as I mentioned
Mm-hmm.
before about the research, so it depends, right? It depends because not everyone wants to write a thesis. Some prefers internship, and this is a good one. So some prefer internship. So it depends. Not everyone wants to do either of those that I mentioned. So make sure you do the research. That's what I was saying before. Make sure you do the research for your program, because on the website, the program itself, everything's there, starting from the
Mm.
description of the program and what would you study,
Mm.
who is your supervisor,
Mm.
and
True.
yeah, who is your supervisor, and also or the program coordinator, and also what would you do after
Mm.
after the semester two. So they give everything there. So as I say, you can either choose internship or writing a thesis, and not every program
Mm.
is same. So make sure you do a research on the program itself to know exactly, if you do this program, will you do the internship or thesis after the program. So make sure you check that
Mm.
as well, because it's
So,
already
so you
there.
can you can choose, right? Because
Yeah.
mostly Lao people, especially who don't have a chance to study abroad, so really following the traditional ways of graduation, and is that you are obligatory to complete your thesis like in a big
Mm.
book like this.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and I just heard of that, when someone that I know that they study in another country, they said, oh, you can choose your internship or like making a project if you don't want to write a thesis. Yeah.
Mm.
So
Yeah,
that is so new, for us. It's new
yeah,
information. So you mentioned
yeah,
that either you can write thesis in a big
yeah,
book or you can do the
yeah,
internship, and it's
yeah.
real practical things, right?
Yeah, it depends on the program. Even though if you
Mm.
choose that program and that program only offers writing a thesis, even though you're like
Mm.
internship, but you have to write a thesis. So make sure you check that before you choose.
Mm.
So yeah, so you still
Mm.
have time to do a research for that as well. And
Mm.
regarding the topic, if you choose to write a thesis, it doesn't. It's good you can prepare your topic ahead, but remember that you won't come
Mm.
back to your country to do the research. So if
Mm.
you're thinking of doing research relating to your country, make sure that the information will be easily found online, or any methodology of collecting informations. It's easily done through the online instead of in person,
Mm.
because that happened to me once. I chose a topic that relates to the woman empowerment sort of thing. But the
Mm.
thing is like, in able to get the information, I have to go to my country. But the thing is like, I don't have
Mm.
time to to go to my
Mm,
country. So I have to, get information through online. That's
mm,
why I changed my topic to the
mm,
things that I think it's feasible to do, to do online. So yeah, think about that as well when you choose your
mm,
topic. So it's better to prepare ahead if you think that you're gonna select it, or if you're selected, then it's good to think that ahead as well.
mm. Yeah, sure. And I'm also interested in the statistic, like the data you mentioned in the tips section as well, that you have to provide the national data to support your statement, your idea, to make it more like this is very logical things. I'm not saying this based on
Yeah.
what I've thought, but this is realistic.
Yeah.
This is really thick data that happened in my country, and I want to help to solve this issue in my country. So
Mm,
but unfortunately in Laos we have such limited source to access to this
mm,
data. even
mm,
even when I was doing my bachelor degree, I wrote the dissertation based on the national data, but I couldn't find much support that I need. In such case, do you have any like alternative data if we could
mm,
use, like in the neighboring countries? That doesn't have to be like in Laos, but of course I know we have to solve this issue in Laos. But if we don't really have this national data in this course that we want to study, how we like handle such situation? Yeah.
yeah, that's a really good question, actually. Since we are part of the Southeast Asian country, so you can use
Mm-hmm.
that as well, because there are few researchers, I would say more research out there that talk about Southeast Asian country as a region, or to talk
Mm,
about any specific issue. So you can use that
mm,
as well to support your idea,
mm,
if you don't have a data from your country. But I
mm,
would say that you can use that data as well, but in terms of the
mm,
plans, in terms of the strategies, please refer to your national plan. I'm sure that
mm,
every country, they have the government plan, or the national
mm.
strategy plan,
Yeah, they have.
or I don't know, if you're doing something related to environment, that's a lot, because I know
Mm,
that under the UNFCCC, it's required for a
mm,
country to submit the report. For example, the
mm,
NDC. And NDC is not only the nationally determined contribution. This is like a document. This is a both document and global document that usually submit to
mm,
the national document that submit to global. So you can refer that as well. If you can find any information related to your program, then use that to back up your statement. So yeah.
I see. That's very interesting. I mean, like if we really lack of such data, we could use the national plan. I didn't think of this. Like I totally
Yeah.
lost. Like, oh yeah, we have national plan. That's true.
Yeah,
That's so
the
true.
national plan is really good, so that if you write your statement or your
Mm,
plans, for example, saying that, okay, after I return, this is the thing that I'm
mm,
going to study, and after return, I want to do this, and this thing
mm,
aligns with the government as mentioned in this document,
mm,
blah blah blah. You know, you that sounds
mm,
reasonable.
mm,
Yeah, it sounds
mm,
the sounds or the flow of your writing. Make sure that
mm,
it aligns to each other. Yeah, to
mm.
make it sounds
That's a
reasonable.
very good tips. I love it. I love it. So how you make the sentences coherent, even though it's very hard to find such information, but you like make it like that. Now I have no doubt that you are the selected one. Like you received the scholarship, and you're also graduated in University of Goa in Ireland. That's Yeah, that's very excellent. And oh my God, look at the time. So we are running out of time. So
Yeah,
I'm just gonna go quickly
yeah,
about the Facebook questions from the audience so that you can answer. Um. Okay. Um, oh, this is very interesting. So he said that should the applicants only submit required documents for the first stage, or what if we submit more documents than required? He didn't like specify such documents, but I would assume that, for example, if you attend exchange programs or internship
Mhm.
program, like, and you have the certification, will that also include in the first stage?
Okay, so the first stage, the only requirements documents are three that I mentioned before,
Mm-hmm.
but you feel free to submit if you have more, but they don't consider
Mm-hmm.
that. They don't consider that. Make sure anything that make sure that any training or anything that you do
Uh,
mention in that essay. So the essay,
I
the
see.
essay is the thing to show to people that you have done this, I've done this, and this is the outcome.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure you mention that in your email. You can still submit that if you want, but I don't think they consider that. And if they
Mm-hmm.
require you to submit that, they will ask you later. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, make sure you just submit what they ask you to submit. That's it. And
Mm-hmm.
anything that you would like them to know, write down on your essay. That's why essay is very important,
Mm-hmm.
because you want to put everything there, right? And in a
That's
short
true.
paragraph. So make sure to
It's
work,
such a
give more
short one.
time on that. Yeah, give more time on the essay.
I mean, it's very challenging, I would say. Like, I've never seen such scholarship that provide you like three questions, 150 words in each question, and next and that. I'm like, I have so much more in me that I would like, for them to know that I'm also an outstanding candidate.
Yeah,
But yeah, unfortunately, that's not the
yeah,
case. So you have to work more on that essay, right? Okay, that's great.
yeah,
And oh yeah, he also asked interesting one. So he said that is this hard to adapt yourself into the new environment in Ireland? How did you deal with challenges and the stress since the degree takes only 1 year? I think most of people
yeah.
are questioning this, and including me.
Of
How?
course, of course, yeah. Especially in Europe, you you,
Uh huh.
you don't see many Asian people there. That this is my case, especially in the Galway. I was crying, to be honest. I was crying at first because of the not because of the the people and everything, but because of the weather. It was raining all the time, literally all the time. So I was so stressful about the weather, so I was crying, and that's it. But the thing is, like, of course you will face many challenges, but knowing that you're not alone, because the thing is, like, they will assign you people to look after you there. So they call it ICOS, Irish ICOS. Go to their Facebook page and search for them. They usually have opportunities and informations for the international students. They're the one looking after the international students. So if you're struggling with the accommodations, with the anything related to your with anything related to you while you're studying in Ireland, as long as you're international students, they're the one taking care of you. So go to their Facebook, search for the ICOS, ICOS. So in Irish something international students. So yeah, go for that and check. They usually taking care of us. They usually assign one person from the ICOS to look after all the students in one university. So you're not alone. So that's the good thing.
Is
Even that
that
you're
similar to a consular? Like,
not consular. No, it's not. They actually the scholarship administrator. The scholarship administrator.
I thought they
Yeah,
have some kind of like stress reliever, like consular
yeah.
providing you mentally support.
Oh, for this one you have the university. I know, some of my
That's
fellows
nice.
that we
Uh-huh.
some of the fellows that we studied together in Ireland, they met the council all the time, with the
Mm,
anything that they have, they use it, and it's so helpful, and they have that in the university. But of course you can ask the ICOS to help you as well, and they will connect
mm,
you to other people, that they may find out
mm,
if you have any
mm,
Asian country in the university that you haven't met. They will connect you. And the good thing is they will have an event in Dublin where they will invite all fellows. So
mm,
you've got to meet fellows from Asia as well in other
mm,
university. So yeah, you can share and everything with them. And of course they always support you. There's always a support from them. And you have people to take care of you. So you will be
mm,
fine. You just need some time. You just need some time. Just give it 1, 2, 3 a week and a month, then you will be fine. And the thing is, like, they give the accommodation that they provide for us. They usually put all fellas together, so you won't be alone. You won't be alone.
Oh,
So
such
you
a
will live
sweet
with,
thing.
yeah, you will live with other fellas. You're not living with some strangers. You will live with fellas if they provide the accommodation to you. So this is the best part that I like. So I actually live with one two, a guy and a girl. One is from Ethiopia and another one is from Seychelles. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes they put you with the guy as well, but it's okay. We all under the same scholarship. We are taking care of each other as an brothers and sisters. So
Mm.
because we are far from where we are, so this is what we have, and this is what we have. This is what we have,
Mm.
and same as them as well. So yeah, we usually are really good to each other. So you'll be fine.
I mean, I can feel the friendship like through your words. I mean,
Yeah,
because yeah, of course, because we are on the same boat. We have 1 year to finish this difficult task. Yeah. And one last
yeah,
question
sure,
before we
sure.
close this live stream.
Yeah.
Um, he said that as the scholarship guideline mentioned that if our form is rejected from the first reference and then it will automatically transfer to the second or third reference. Should we choose one program with 3 universities, or we can choose up to 3 programs with 3 different universities?
Okay, for this one, as I mentioned, that it depends on the program and the university as well.
Mm,
But I would recommend that you choose different universities because different university offers different requirements. So it's
mm,
good to have a low requirement with a high requirement, as I mentioned, to mix up, and it depends on the course. It depends on the course as well, because I know
mm,
some people that they actually got rejected from the university because
mm,
of the lowest
mhm,
score of the thing, but
mm,
the scholarship actually help you to find other university that
mm,
can accept your English, because most of the time it's not your application to the university, but
mm,
the English requirement. The
mm,
English requirement is the problem. Yeah, so they usually transfer you to the other university. Of course, they have the rankings for all the universities, right? So
mm,
if you don't get into the highest ranking one, they can still transfer you to the other university. But to play
mm,
safe, it's better to consider different rankings of the university in your three options. Yeah, just to
mm.
play safe.
Place safe, like risk management. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's so nice to talk to you. So we are right now concluding this live stream. Although I don't want it to be in. It's so soon because we've learned so much thing in 1 hour each. Could you
Yeah,
please
it's a
say something, to encourage a lot of people to apply for this like scholarship? Because me as a father for this page, I found it because I want to encourage a lot of people to apply. I want to provide such useful information to them as much as I could. And for you, as someone who graduated from this program, how would you like to encourage them to apply?
Great. So from my part, I can say that this is the first time they open the scholarship for all Lao people.
Mm,
So it's good that you are well prepared before you apply. If you think that you haven't well prepared applying for the scholarship this year, then don't rush because you don't want to lose your opportunities, right? uh,
mm.
because in this scholarship you can only apply twice. It's more than that, they're not consider you
Oh.
anymore. So make sure you use your time very well, you use your opportunities
Mm,
very well. So if you think that you're ready with all your experiences, the working experiences or volunteer experiences in terms of leadership skills, if you think you're ready for that, then apply for that. I really encourage you
mm,
because of the benefits that I mentioned before. I highly recommend you to apply for that. And in terms of the preparing yourself for this one, uh, I would love to mention that over and over again. Well prepared in terms of the researching everything,
mm,
especially the programs. This is key because people
mm,
wants to know exactly what's your plan and what you're going to do with
mm,
this scholarship and what are you going to do with their money. This sort of
mm,
thing. So make sure you really do your homework. That's the thing. Make sure you really do
mm,
your homework. If you really want to apply, make sure that you have a heart that wanting, The thing is like you don't want to apply just apply, but apply just to get it.
Mm.
I mean, apply to get it, right? Not just to apply to apply.
That's true.
You have an experience, but you have to put something in your mind that I want to apply because I want to get it, so that you can
Mm.
put anything, you can put your energy, you can put your time, everything in that process, because
Mm.
everyone wants a scholarship. Who doesn't want that? But the thing is like, how can you be a different from any other candidates? You have to show you're
Mm.
unique. You have to show that
Mm-hmm.
you are something. So that's the thing. That's why I really encourage you, if you really want to apply this scholarship, make sure that you really want to apply to get it. So which
Mm-hmm.
means that if you want to get it, which means that you have to be well prepared, right? So in terms of your preparation, in terms of your research, do your homework, research
Mm.
everything, and yeah, do everything you can. So even though you don't get selected, but you can say to yourself that yeah, at least I did my best. You don't want to be disappointed
Mm.
after all, right? You want to still have that experience even though you're not get selected. That's why I really encourage
Mm.
you to have that thing in your mind when you consider to apply for it. Yeah, I guess
Mm.
that's it from me.
Yeah, that's true. I really love that you said that when we want to apply, of course, we aim to get it.
Yeah,
That's the spirit. Yeah, that's so great.
yeah.
And thank, thanks a lot. So I think me, like including me, a lot of people have learned so much about this scholarship. Yeah, we really appreciate your time and, like your sharing experience that we couldn't find ours. We now have, you know the person who graduated from this scholarship sharing this life experience for you, and also encourage you to apply. That's something very appreciate. And thank you for being here with us, like,
Thank you
taking
so
your
much for
time.
having me as well. I really enjoyed this conversation though. So
Yeah.
thank you, and I hope all the best. Good luck for those who are planning to apply for the scholarship this year. So all the best.
Mhm.
Good luck. Yeah, wish you all the
Yeah,
best.
thank you. I'll let you have lunch now because it's
Yeah, it's almost
12:43
lunchtime.
now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.